Hey guys, I'm Brett, the Nerdy Engineer. Today I'm going to talk about home charging. One of the things I started to despise about a gasoline car when I was waiting to get my Tesla was having to go to a gas station. It just never happened at a convenient time. I was always running late for something, on my way to a meeting, you name it. And also, like I've mentioned before, I'm pretty cheap, so I wasn't going to the gas station right by my house. I'd always drive out of my way to go to the gas station that was 10 cents a gallon cheaper. So it's just one of the things that I really grew to hate about my gasoline car when I was waiting for my Tesla to come in. Oh, there also aren't any oil changes for Teslas. Think about that. That was another thing I hated. So many people are used to having a gasoline car where you have to go to a gas station to fill up, that they think if you don't have enough electric vehicle chargers around your town, that you can't really get an electric vehicle. That couldn't be further from the truth. With an electric vehicle, you're just going to charge at home. So unless you're driving more than 200 miles around town every day, you don't need chargers around your town. And actually, Elon Musk says the best place to charge your car is where you charge your phone, meaning at home or at work. Places where you're stationary for a long period of time, that's really the best place to charge a car. Charging at home has got to be one of the best things about an electric vehicle. You just get home from work, plug in your car, and then you wake up in the morning, you've got a full charge, unplug your car, and you go about your day. So every day you're starting off with a full charge, full 200 to 300 miles of range. So there's really no need to be charging around town. The only real reasons why you'd ever charge away from home is if you've got a charger at work and it's either free or cheaper than charging at home, or if you're on a road trip. And when you're on a road trip, Tesla has over 200 miles of range. Depending on which model you get, it's 200 to over 300 miles of range on a full charge. So you don't need any chargers within that first 100 miles or so. And then Tesla has the superchargers. So on a road trip, if you're going along most of the major interstates around the US, they have chargers every approximately 100 miles. The superchargers are completely free for current Model S and Model X owners. For the Model 3, they haven't really disclosed how it's going to be done. Either it's going to be you pay for blocks of energy, or you have to pay to enable supercharging. Either way though, if you have a Model 3 and you don't have a Model S or Model X, it'd be worth getting the supercharger access because that just enables you to drive anywhere with it. And once you start driving an electric vehicle, you're never going to want to go back to driving a gasoline vehicle. So there's two main ways to charge at home. The easiest, and what I think the majority of people do, is just use the mobile charger that's included with every Tesla. There's pros and cons to using this charger versus a hardwired charger. One of them is if you are going on a trip where you might need it, then you have to actually remember to pack it in your car. The other option is using the wall charger. They have two versions now, one with a 24-foot long cable. That way it doesn't matter which direction you park, if you pull nose in or you back in. Or you can get one that has an 8.5-foot cable. And that one you have to make sure you're parking close to the charger. Speaking of charger, your charger is in your driver's side tail light. So it's nicely hidden. It's much smaller than a normal electric vehicle charger. So to remove a charger, you have to push down, there's a little button on it, push down on the button, and then the light will turn white. And once it does, then you can remove it. If it's blue or green, that means it's locked in there and you can't remove it. And the cover automatically closes. To open the cover, you can there's a button on the dash you can push. You can push on the corner here and that'll open the charger port also. Or you can actually push on the button on the charger. Now, blue is checking it, now it's green, so that means the vehicle is charging. So every new Tesla comes with a mobile charging kit. Inside here you get the charger, a couple adapters that I'm going to go ahead and show you. So the first thing you're going to find in your charging kit is your actual mobile charger. It's got the same head on it as the Tesla wall charger, but there's no actual plug on the mobile charger. And that's to allow you to use different adapters to plug into all different types of outlets. Tesla gives you the two most common adapters that you're going to need, and then there's other additional adapters you can buy on their website. So the first adapter in your kit is a normal 110 volt plug. It's the outlet that's most prevalent throughout the whole US. It's the one that's in everyone's house. which is the reason why Tesla includes it. You basically, wherever you go, you can charge as a last resort. I say last resort because these things only charge at 3 to 4 miles of range per hour. So overnight, standard 9-10 hours, you're only going to get about 30 miles of range. So if your commute's less than about 30 miles a day, then you could get by with a standard 110 outlet, and overnight you should be able to recharge about 30 miles and offset your usage every day. The main use for the 110 plug is if you're going to be at some place for a long period of time. So if you're taking a road trip out to the mountains or somewhere and you're going to be staying for a couple of days, then you can just use this plug to charge up while you're there and fully recharge. The other great place to use it is at an airport. A lot of airports nowadays do have electric vehicle chargers, but there's times where you're going to show up and all the chargers are going to be full. And so if you bring your mobile charger with you, a lot of those electric chargers have a 110 outlet on them. So you can plug in your mobile charger and charge up at about 3 to 4 miles of range per hour, which is plenty if you're going to be gone for 4 or 5 days. Anytime I'm going to be at the airport, I just use the 110 outlet with my mobile charger because I don't want to take a spot from somebody that might be gone for a short trip where they need to charge faster. And that way I feel like I'm just kind of helping out the EV community. The other plug that comes in the kit is the Nema 1450. This is a 50 amp, 240 volt plug that charges at about 28 miles of range per hour. So this is definitely the way to go for most people with an electric vehicle if you want to use a mobile charger. This is also the type of plug that's at most RV parks. So if you're trying to get off the beaten path, you can plan a trip where you stop at an RV park and you can charge at about 28 miles of range per hour. So not nearly as fast as supercharger, but before they had the supercharger network, people that try to do road trips with electric vehicles relied on RV parks as a way to charge up away from home. So it's still a viable option. It's not used nearly as often anymore, but if you're trying to go out away from civilization, go camping or something, then it's a good alternative. Adapter end. So this end you have to put on one of your plugs. So to do that, you just take your plug, have the Tesla symbol facing up, and the shape's also different. You can easily look at the shape and realize which direction it goes. But the easy thing to do is just look for the Tesla symbol, plug it in that way. It just snaps on. To remove it, push that button on there, and you can pull them apart. But it just snaps on. All right, so to use the mobile charger, after you put your adapter on there, you just go ahead and plug it in. A green light will show up, that way you know that it's actually getting power and working properly. This is my home charger. I opted to get the Tesla wall charger. I knew I was going to be purchasing a second charger, whether it was a second mobile charger or a wall charger, and the price is the same. So I went with the wall charger because it just looks a little sleeker, in my opinion. One thing to consider though is if you do have a hardwired charger, some municipalities require you to have a quick disconnect in your garage if your electrical panel is not in your garage. So I don't think it really adds any appreciable cost. Our circuit breaker is not that far. I think it was only like a 40-foot run of cable, and our basement's unfinished, so they're able to go through the basement, so that cut down on cost. Our installation with permit was only $550, which is on the low end. If your basement's finished or your circuit breaker is further from the garage, then your costs go up quite a bit. I've seen some people's quotes over $1,000, even $2,000 to install a charger. Tesla's wall charger is actually designed to hold the cables, so it's got that curved shape so that you can wrap the cable around there and hang it right off of the charger. So you really don't need the separate hanger anyways. Because the new charger has the hanger on the side, it actually works really well. So this is my complete setup. I opted to install the charger in the middle of the garage, even though I back in, just to give us more versatility. We have a deposit down on a Model 3. By putting the charger in the middle of the garage, we could conceivably charge both cars off of a single charger. To hang my cable, I purchased the Tesla wall hanger. However, I wouldn't really recommend it. You can get any generic hose hanger. The cable's fairly heavy, so you do want to get something that's heavy duty enough to support the weight of the cable. The big design flaw with this hanger is that when you actually put the charger head in there, the cable pushes it off the wall, so it's kind of raised up, and you can just tap it and the charger falls right out. Because I don't want the charger head falling on the floor all the time, I just end up using this as a normal cord hanger. So save yourself some money, don't get the Tesla one, it's 25 bucks, and you can get a generic hanger that's heavy duty enough for the weight of the cable relatively cheaply. If your utility has different rates throughout the certain times of the day, then this is a pretty nice feature. You can actually set that you want to wait until a certain time for your car to charge. That way you're saving as much money as you can with charging the vehicle. But to adjust your charge limit, you can just click on here and change this in 10% increments. Tesla recommends that you don't go above 90% on a daily basis. Charging to 100% is detrimental to the batteries. The batteries degrade faster over time if they're kept at a high charge level. I personally don't drive that much on a daily basis, so I only charge to 60%. And that's plenty of range. It gives me 155 to 160 miles of range every day, which is more than enough. If I ever have to drive far the next day and I forgot to change my charge limit, I don't have to come out to the car and set it. I can actually just open up the app to the charging, and you can change your charge limit directly in the app. So one of the great things about a Tesla, the app gives you can set your charge limit, you can lock and unlock your car, you can even start your car. So if you ever lose your keys, can't find them, you can, as long as you have your app, you can unlock the car and start it directly from this app.